Merry Christmas, you filthy animal. And a Happy New Year.
Well, Barry, it's Christmas Eve day.
I can't believe it. I mean, where does it go?
I don't know. Yeah, it's gone. And then I wonder who's watching. Hey, out there, are you watching? Frank and Barry, happy Christmas Eve day. And
Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas.
Yeah. So thanks for tuning in if you're here. We know most people are kind of in, holiday mode. But we still wanted to come to you guys with a show and give you some good information for what's going on. Before we get started, I just want to let you guys know if you have been watching the show and you saw Brian's show on Friday where he was very heartfelt in explaining that, to make a change, the little changes are often the hardest ones to make. Big changes seem to be easier, but the little changes are the things that make the biggest impact a lot of the time. And so Listing Booster definitely will help you with all of that. So I would just say, if you're interested in learning about Listing Booster and seeing how it can help you, just text Booster to 33655 and we'll get you started. We'll take you along that path.
My name is PewDiePie, and every day when I wake up, I use this product 10 times a day.
Now, by the way, just people always tell me that people love it. So I'm just
it's awesome
from the outside, and people just saying they love it. So
thank you. Yeah, thank you very, very much. So let's go ahead and dive in. I think a great topic for today, Barry, is we're right around the corner from 2019. I mean, people are in holiday mode for now, but come just a week or two from now, they're going to be like, okay, let's go. And so let's just talk about 2019. What's the outlook there? Rates, real estate, the Barry Habib kind of thought on 2019, maybe what we can expect as mortgage guys and real estate agents.
So there's a lot to be optimistic for. I think that you're going to see some opportunity. We're heading towards some additional volatility, in my opinion. We talked about this. We said once the central bank buying stops in the U.S., slows down in Europe, that will create additional volatility. Specifically in October, we've started to see that. You see what's going on in the stock market. So that's a big thing because the decline in stock market is weighing a little bit on housing. I know nobody talks about it, but as people see their statements come in, or today you could look real time and you could see that your assets are not doing as well, you have less confidence to make a purchase. I think that the stock market will kind of find its footing, will come back. I think we will see some improvement in the psyche of buyers as they adjust to that and more volatility. So I think that's an important aspect that's really not discussed and talked about. People say, oh, well, affordability is one, and certainly many markets around the country, you wouldn't consider them inexpensive, but affordability hasn't changed all that much within a short period of time. The variable that's occurred is the stock market's move. So expect more volatility ahead, but I do think the stock market eventually finds its footing. Now, interest rates for the year ahead could be interesting because there's an event out there that's got an old name, but it could have a new meaning, and that's Brexit. So we all recall a couple of years ago when Brexit was beginning to start, it wasn't in effect, it was just voted on, that caused interest rates to really decline. And I think as breakfast, you know what's on my mind, as Brexit really comes into be in effect, I think that people will be surprised at how disruptive it is. And I think that people will be surprised at either how this is the beginning potentially of the end of the European Union as we know it. So I feel that interest rates will be the beneficiary. There'll be a point in time where you could see, because of the uncertainty, interest rates benefit from it. As far as housing goes, I know that we're in a bit of a slowdown here. And listen, if you look cyclically, that happens. But I think 2019, especially in the spring, you'll start to see a bit of a resurgence in housing. I think that the demographics weigh too much in favor of housing. It's just simple math of more buyers than there are sellers. Even the most recent data that we see shows while there was a bit of a swoon, it's kind of holding in there pretty good. I think we'll see some appreciation. And the magic that you have to do is you just got to do the calculations. Like even 2 or 3% appreciation over time compounded creates enormous wealth.
Totally.
Let's remember, when you purchase a home, you're ideally not looking to purchase today and buy tomorrow. It isn't like a stock. So this is a long-term situation, which means that there are going to be cycles that you go through. But if you are going to average 3 or 4 or 5% appreciation, heck, even 2% appreciation on the low side, you will be amazed, and just do the math for them, at how that compounding has an enormous wealth creation effect And the leverage on your initial down payment on your investment it's absolutely incredible. It's something that is something you have to go through with your customers so they can see that.
Yeah, excellent.
As far as other things that are out there, inflation's low, predominantly because of oil prices. Oil prices have come down a couple of months ago. It was in the 70s. Now it's 45 for West Texas Intermediate, or WTI. That is in everything. So it's a big pull on inflation to keep it low and keep it contained. Be careful if that starts to reverse, because then you'll start to see inflation. The bond market will not like that.
Right.
The Fed will be more emboldened to go through with some more rate hikes. The stock market won't like that. So again, it is turmoil city. I think we're both in the same position with our phones here. So we both didn't get the silent phone memo before we started this, right?
People in real time.
Yeah, that's right. But I think that those are all things that bear watching. And look, if you were to ask me what's the key, is that all of this volatility and all of these moving parts really means you need to be an advisor. And it doesn't mean you just put it on your name tag and you become an advisor. You have to put the work in. That's the fair thing about sales, folks, is that you get out of it and put it.
Sure. All great stuff. My question for you is this, and the one thing I think some of the LOs out there are going to think is, okay, so this Brexit thing. What in 2019, what time zone do you think you might see when it really does truly go into effect? Is that the middle of the year? Or is it
kind of late spring. Yeah, late spring is probably about right for that, and see the effects of that. I think that it will potentially be pretty disruptive.
Okay.
The bottom line is if Great Britain comes out of it and they come out of it better, because look, let's understand the European situation. It's very different than the United States. The United States, we have a single currency, but we also have a single government. Okay, here you have your individual government sharing a single currency in Europe. So that's the big difference there. So what happened is they thought it was a good idea, and in theory it's really a good idea, because if you're Germany, okay, so Germany, you've got a strong economy, but what hurts you is that the Deutschmark is so strong. Because of that, it makes your exports difficult, because that currency is so strong that it's expensive to buy your vehicles, let's just say, in different parts of the country. So by doing this, that European currency, it kind of calms it down versus the US dollar, and therefore it makes your exports better. The Southern European countries, the benefit that they get, or some of the ones that are a little bit weaker, they get the benefit not of their currency being held down, but that they can borrow money. These countries are in a lot of indebtedness. It's difficult for them to borrow money. And what happens is that they have to pay very high rates. Well, because of the European Union, they get to borrow at much better rates. So it seemed great, except now, if you're a country like Italy, for example, if you're coming up on hard times, in Spain, if you're coming up on hard times, what will happen is that you normally would say, hey, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna devalue my currency, make my exports dirt cheap, and you'll get the economy going, right? Prime the pump with that. So I'll get myself, that's what's been through history, okay? But now you cannot do that. You're handcuffed. So you can't reduce your currency, you can't push exports, it can't spur your economy. So borrowing money at a low rate doesn't really help you as much in this situation. So I think that if it's shown that Great Britain can break away, and it's not as big of a deal when they come out of it, if they come out of it okay, other countries will look to make that kind of a move. And that's what can be very, very disruptive. Okay, this can be very disruptive around the globe because we're all interconnected.
Fantastic. Great education, man. Thank you for that. I know I got a lot out of that, and I'm sure a lot of other people did. So there you go. We'll go ahead and get out of here. We're going kind of long, but that's okay.
Merry Christmas, man. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Everybody, listen, hey, all the guys that listen and gals that listen, really appreciate you. Nice comment from all of you guys. We just wish you the best for you and your family and health. And brother, you and I are really great friends. And I want to just wish you personally a wonderful and healthy Merry Christmas and New Year, and just all the best to you, man.
Same to you, brother, and I'm looking forward to next year working with you, bud. It's going to be a good time.
Thanks.
So anyway, we'll go ahead and get out of here. You guys have a great, great, great Christmas, and we'll catch you guys the day after Christmas here on the Nashville Real Estate Post. We'll see you later.
Check out my new favorite channel. It is so good. Oh my God. Look at it.